Let's continue here on Radio Boss. We're joined by a gentleman, as a matter of fact, who is the special counsel to WWE Universal Champ Roman Reigns. Throughout the course of his career, he's managed 6 wrestling champions. He's one of the great speakers of all time and one of the great managers of all time, one of the great, when you think about it, personalities of all time in wrestling. He's the one and only Paul Heyman. Joins us here on BOXTOROW and Radio Boss. Paul, welcome to the program.
No, I'm not flattered by the introduction. One of, if you go home tonight and you make love to your wife and she turns to you and she says, honey, you're one of the best lovers I've ever had, would you feel complimented and emboldened, or would you be filing for divorce tomorrow? Forget one of. I'm the GOAT. I'm the greatest of all time. I'm the best that has ever done this job, and I doubt anybody will ever do it as good as I have done it in the future. So one of, I will respectfully pass on that supposed alleged compliment, and I will introduce myself as the greatest of all time, the GOAT, the special counsel to the undisputed, by the way,
yes,
Universal Heavyweight Champion of WWE, indeed of all sports entertainment, Roman Reigns.
You know what go ahead.
Well.
Go ahead.
After you, sir.
Yeah, I was going to say, I with that intro, maybe. See, and that's interesting. That's where I want to start. Like, I came up in a time in the 80s. I mean, I was a huge wrestling fan, you know, Hulk Hogan and Randy Macho Man Savage, WrestleMania 3. I mean, it was great. And I think about, and I was doing a search, right? So I was thinking of I was doing a search of some of the greatest speakers of all time. And I was thinking more wrestlers, but your name certainly came up there. Can you speak to how wrestling has really, you've been doing this a long time, how it's evolved? And now, I mean, we still have the matches, but sometimes you got to be able to speak for 10 to 12 minutes at a time.
Well, we just like Major League Baseball or NASCAR or the NHL or the NBA or the NFL. We're into content creation, the content providing, the content distribution business. We produce content. Our content happens to be World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE, sports entertainment, pro wrestling. And then we sell this content, or we license this content out to networks or portals or video streaming services, and we present it to the public. Same way Major League Baseball or the NFL or NASCAR or any other sports or entertainment or sports entertainment would do. And you have to go by what the public demands at this time. And the public demands, because of reality TV and more sophisticated programming that's come up in the past 20, 25 years, the audience demands to know the personalities far more intimately than they used to. Used to be, you come on TV and it's like, you know, one guy says, I'm going to come to the arena. I love all the people in this wonderful town of Raleigh, and I'm going to make everybody in Raleigh very, very happy. And the other guy comes out and goes, I'm going to rip off your head and piss down your neck. Oh, man, I got to see this fight. And people want to know more about you today. Because in any kind of genre where you're selling tickets to a rivalry, the only way to sell a ticket is to identify who are these two people, why are they fighting, and why should I care enough to pay to see it? And therefore, you got to know the personalities more. And the only way to learn about the personalities more is for them to talk more. Yeah,
no question about it. You know, you mentioned network. I thought, and again, so just my history with wrestling. I'll tell you when I kind of stopped watching is when Ultimate Warrior defeated Hulk Hogan. I think that was in 1990, if I'm not mistaken. Have come back around to it at various times via my children. Now they're older. I watch every week. And I think one of the reasons I've really been watching is because Smackdown came to Fox. I thought that was huge. You're talking about network TV opposed to cable. How big, you've been doing this again a long time. How big a move was that for wrestling to come to on a weekly basis, that is, to network television?
Indescribably huge. You know, it's a validation of the enormity of the product that we produce, of the content again, that we're creating, and of the personalities involved. And what makes me happiest about it is that in the era of network television for WWE, the biggest star who carries that show, who makes the show worth watching, who is the undisputed biggest star, let alone the undisputed heavyweight champion, is Roman Reigns.
Your guy, right?
Yeah. Well, he's not my guy. He's my tribal chief.
He is your tribal chief. Yes, you're right.
And you should acknowledge him as your tribal chief as well. It'll lead to a far more pleasant existence. It'll bring you a Zen mentality. It'll allow you peace of mind. For acknowledging Roman Reigns as your tribal chief brings you to the island of relevancy.
Well, yeah, but now, Paul, you've waffled a little bit with Brock Lesnar from time to time too now.
Well, I had great success with Brock Lesnar. I mean, we ran together for 20 years where I served as his advocate. And, you're talking about multiple reigns as WWE heavyweight champion, the first of which he defeated Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the biggest star in Hollywood, for the championship. And this is when Brock was only 24 years old. Multiple reigns as Universal Heavyweight Champion, an unheard of reign of over 500 days, unheard of until Roman Reigns just eclipsed that record, and now we're heading towards 700 days as undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion, and a very highly publicized reign as the UFC Heavyweight Champion, and we wrote a best-selling book together about his life. So I mean, and this was a relationship of over 20 years. So it's never easy to say goodbye to somebody after that level of success, And again, let's call a spade a spade. Brock Lesnar defeated The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar conquered the holy grail of WWE, The Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania, all because of Paul Heyman. And that's it's not the easiest thing in the world to just transition away from it. There are growing pains in that.
And the voice of the one and only Paul Heyman joins us here on BOXTOROW and Radio Boss. You should know that SummerSlam is July 30th and Smackdown is coming to Raleigh on August 12th. I'm going to be in the building. I'm very much looking forward to that. So Roman Reigns aside, we just celebrated John Cena and his, I guess 20 years and wrestling and all that he's done. Roman Reigns aside, who, in your opinion, is the greatest to ever do it?
The Usos as a tag team, the undisputed tag team champions.
Usos
in WWE.
aside, Usos aside, and Roman Reigns aside.
Either John Cena or Brock Lesnar.
All right. Okay. All right. And why?
Oh, for John Cena, it's his longevity. It's his authenticity. It's his honesty with the crowd. It's his community service. It's his ability to be John Cena. I mean, John Cena is as close to a real life. If John Cena appeared at my house or at the same arena that I'm blessed enough to accompany the tribal chief Roman Reigns, and John Cena came in wearing a cape, and he said, I just performed a miracle and I just saved everyone that was in a burning orphanage, I would believe it, because he's as close to a real life superhero as you're ever going to meet. Brock Lesnar, because he's exactly the opposite. He is the beast incarnate, and he is not of our species, and I'd call him a superhuman, but I've met superhumans and he's way above them. So Brock Lesnar, just because he's the Jim Thorpe of this generation, he's an athlete that no other athlete can compare to, can do multiple sports and go back and forth between them if he wanted to. And just, in terms of something like that, there's no one that compares to Brock Lesnar.
You've done a lot in your career. I don't think maybe you have to kind of do the research like I've done to know. I mean, obviously you're, one of I'm still, you're one of the biggest personalities in the game. I know what you're going to say, but I mean, you've done a lot. What do you remember? And I didn't know this prior to now, but those ECW days where you were the owner at one time of ECW.
I confirm that statement, sir.
Okay. All right. Okay. No, fair enough. I got you. Okay. Well, let me ask you this. What do you remember most about the Paul E. Dangerously days?
That they preceded the ECW days, which preceded the Brock Lesnar days, which precedes my reign, all puns intended, as special counsel to the tribal chief Roman Reigns.
Yeah. All right. So in terms of, okay, we got SummerSlam that's coming up on July the 30th. Of course, Smackdown is coming to Raleigh. Can't wait for that right here in Raleigh on August the 12th. SummerSlam. Let's start there with the tribal chief Roman Reigns, the undisputed WWE Universal Champions, as well as the Usos as tag team champions. What can we expect? At least let's start with SummerSlam.
A match of epic proportions of which you have never seen so epic. Brock Lesnar challenging Roman Reigns in a last man standing match is the greatest challenge to the tribal chief's undisputed title reign. Brock Lesnar in a last man standing match is a very dangerous individual. Brock Lesnar in any match, in the thumb wrestling contest, is a very dangerous individual. He'll break your thumb off and eat it for breakfast. But let alone in a last man standing match, this is a man that stood against Randy Couture in the octagon, the greatest heavyweight in the history of the UFC, and knocked him out standing up. It didn't take Randy Couture down like the wrestler that he is, an NCAA Division I heavyweight champion. Brock Lesnar beat Randy Couture standing up, where Brock Lesnar was the last man standing. This is a very scary proposition. Not for Roman Reigns, but for me, because the tribal chief doesn't sweat anything or anybody. Me, I'm a Jew. I worry all the time. That's what my people do. So you can expect perhaps the greatest last man standing match that you've ever seen in your entire life. But it's going to be an epic battle for the championship. And there are no predictions or spoilers on this one. It's quite the challenge for Roman Reigns.
Last thought. What you do, I mean, it seems easy for you, and you've been doing it quite some time. How much are you enjoying this and being part of WWE Pro Wrestling, etc.?
Greatest time of my life. Absolutely greatest time of my life.
Is this time as great as it's ever been?
Better. Because I live on the island of relevancy. So I acknowledge Roman Reigns as my tribal chief, which brings me to a Zen existence with great peace of mind and a sense of accomplishment that I've never had before in my entire life. And I encourage you, everyone listening to you, to acknowledge Roman Reigns as your tribal chief. I assure you, it's almost an out-of-body experience. It just brings a spiritual tranquility and indeed a spiritually orgasmic existence into your life.
The one and only Paul Heyman joining us here on BOXTOROW and Radio Boss. Again, SummerSlam, July 30th, and SmackDown is going to be right here in Raleigh on August the 12th. And of course, it'll be on Fox as well. Paul, really appreciate the time. Continued success in all you do.
Thank you. You're one of the best people I've talked to all day.
Love it.